Hello and welcome to 4am Art. In this lesson, we'll be drawing the brain using a pencil. And it looks complicated initially, but if we break it down into its basic shapes, it'll be much simpler. So draw the overall shape of the brain. There are three main parts to the brain. But if you notice that there's a nice fold that separates the top from the bottom fairly equally. And then from there, we can focus on some of the other folds that are smaller and kind of figure out where they go. Our main focus is to get the general shapes in first, and then we can add some of the detail and of course the shading afterwards. So the structures, the tubes that turn and go every which way, are called folds or gyrus, singular, or gyri, plural. And the grooves that are dark are called sulcus, singular, or sulci, plural. So the sulci will, of course, be pretty dark once we're all done. So anyway, the folds, or gyri, in order to make them look real, we'll have to do some nice shading to make it look like they're tubular. Our light's primarily going to be coming from the upper left. So a lot of highlights will be in the upper left, the top part of the brain. And then of course the darker tones, darker values, the shadows, will be in the lower right. So we'll make sure first that our rough outline looks pretty good. Our proportions are good. And we'll go ahead and use the same pencil to start roughing in the midtones, which of course will be the lower half of the tubes or folds. Or in this case, like the upper part, it'll be sort of on the right side. And this is just a rough shading part first. And we'll fine tune these in a little bit. So just some quick, easy strokes. You'll notice that as we get closer to the bottom and to the right, we're going to be covering more of the gyri than we did at the top, just because they'll mostly be in shadow. And now I'm using pretty long strokes just to cover it real quick. You don't want to make it too dark at this point, otherwise you'll lose some of your initial lines that show where the folds are. Kind of fine-tuning it a little bit here first. And then we'll switch over to some softer leaded pencil just to get some really dark values. So just touching up some of the folds here first and darkening the values even more. So now I'm using my mechanical pencil, which has 4B lead, which is fairly soft. And I'm going to start finalizing some of these folds and grooves. The grooves, of course, are going to be very dark. Push pretty hard with the pencil and you'll get some nice dark tones. Keeping in mind that we're still trying to make it look like it's tubular. So you'll need to have a nice gradient from the lightest tones to the darkest darks. And we'll just work our way down. You could also use the other pencil. I also have a mechanical pencil that has HB lead or 2B lead, which is a little bit harder. So it's a little bit easier to get some of the lighter tones. But just by adjusting the pressure on this soft leaded pencil, I can really get most of the tones I want. So just work your way from the top down slowly making the tones darker as we get into the shadows. Notice that at the bottom, there really isn't any paper showing anymore because there won't really be as many highlights. But we're still trying to convey that the gyri are basically tubes. So I hope you found this video useful and helpful. If so, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Until the next video, take care. Bye.